Rodgers with an assist and a goal in this one, and this is some of the social media reaction. Dean saying City may be struggling, but that's the best we've looked since City at home last December. To a man, absolutely brilliant, and the first time we've been at full strength all season as well. Can't really argue with that, can you? And Stephen says, I really can't see any way this changes for City without major changes, be it via transfers or with the current personnel. And we will be back, Stephen says. I believe in Pep, I believe in the board. Changes need to be made, but they will make them. Next two transfer windows are crucial. Change is needed, the big words in those messages there. Let's hear now what the manager made of that 2-1 defeat, because Pep Guardiola is with Jules.
Another game where you're still searching for those answers. What happened out there today?
A really good first half. We started with problems, with mistake, but we make a really good first half. Second half we drop. We change a little bit our pressing for the reason John could not continue, and we were not as much good as the first half. And yeah, congratulate Aston Villa and keep going.
Well, what was the reason that John Stones couldn't continue? Is it a recurrence of the previous injury?
Yeah.
So in terms of the things that Villa did well, was it something that you struggled with to deal with the intensity of their press?
I would not say no. Our build-up was comfortable, but of course in the mid-block they are so strong. They follow really good the pockets, the physicality with Nana and Kamara, and we could link inside, but it's not, you know that. But we have good moments. We have not big chances, but we have, I would say, more chances than United game, for example. But the second half we dropped. Our pressing was not effective in our right side, and we struggled a little bit. And after we could not drop them well, and we found the goal at the end, but too late.
Yeah, that goal that you pull back at the end, is it more concerning not finding the goals as it is the type of goals that you're conceding at the moment?
Yeah, that's true. We struggle to score and we concede goals.
And Phil Foden as a whole, he's obviously not hit the heights of last season. Can you tell us a bit about how he's feeling this season and what's not quite clicking for him?
But the last 1 or 2 games was better, so have been the problems. Most of the players have the problems and struggle to have the fit. So that means what happened in the past in terms of forms or performance. Sometimes the next season is not the same because the people change and the situation change and struggle in some injuries. But today we make a really good game.
And we've spoken already about trying to find these solutions and what you can do to get this team getting back to winning, as everyone expects to see City doing that. How much of that is about you finding a way to get the team confident again?
I said to you last time, you answered the question like I gave it to you. So it's the same, I had to find it, yeah? And the players back and step by step, but they have a nice personalities of the team, and we're going, sooner or later going to find it.
Do you need to maybe try something different from what you've already tried so far to get out of this run?
Yeah. I have to do it, yeah.
What do you think that could be?
Back my players. That is what I've been different. Back my players.
Pep, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola, they're really struggling on this run and talking about finding something different, Jodie. And we keep thinking that this reboot is going to happen, but so far hasn't found the answers. Does it feel different this time? It doesn't feel like they are going to go on a run like we've seen so often before post-Christmas.
Yeah, of course, but it didn't feel like they were going to be in this run of form when they were winning every game or going on them ridiculous runs that we've been accustomed to seeing. So yeah, it's going to be hard for them to get out of this, and the longer it goes on, the harder it becomes. And like I said, if they would have won today, they still wouldn't have been out of the woods. It still would have needed more than one result at Aston Villa, and now all these fixtures look difficult.
Well, Everton as well, boosted by the takeover. That is not an easy game. Like you said, none of them are easy games.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like what Ali and Adam were saying in commentary, that when teams smell blood, it gives them confidence. We've seen it in other great teams coming to the end of their run and their era. It's they smell blood, and all of a sudden now it builds confidence, and wherever it is, keeping a clean sheet or being efficient in front of goal or set piece, whatever it may be, City need to find some form of luck, not just quality. We've seen it in the goal they scored today. That's not a prescribed City goal. Savini doesn't run at 4 players, and then Phil Foden doesn't shoot when it's not really on. All of a sudden, then Digne slips and then he's in front of goal. So maybe they need to create it from luck rather than quality.
He said he needs to back his players. Do they need to sort of remember what came naturally and so mechanically to them before? Because it doesn't feel like we're watching the same team who've won 4 titles in a row.
No, it doesn't. And it feels like, when I look around, their heads are down, they're the shell of the team that they were or have been previously. It just felt like today there was no urgency. It felt like there was no desperation to go and win. It just felt like there's another loss coming, Kevin De Bruyne was sat on the bench. We didn't see him today. I thought Savinho did well when he came on, but I'm not sure quite what's going on with Kevin De Bruyne. Why you wouldn't bring him on in a match where you're desperately looking for a goal felt strange. And also the games coming up now, they've got those 6 games. Every team at bar Brentford there was in the bottom half of the table. So if they can go on a run, you would imagine it would be now.
But do you agree with Julian that everyone else in the Premier League now smells blood?
Yeah, well, they're just not. They were unplayable. They were, they were formidable. They were a team that you went into the game, you just almost write it off unless you were one of the big clubs.
They were the team that you had to be at your ultimate best to possibly get a draw. That isn't the case now. Like I said before, when teams were beating City in the past, because they have lost games, they were lucky and City were unfortunate, but that isn't the case now. It's kind of like, you deserve to win this game, and that's kind of where the worrying thing is, because teams aren't lucky to beat Man City.
I think Villa here will have a lot tougher games than what they've just had there against far, you would say, less calibre of opposition. That felt pretty routine today.
And Pep has said that he will go if he can't fix this. Do you think there's more chance that he could resign than actually bring about a revival here?
Yeah, listen, I don't think that is anywhere close to happening. Again, it's new for him, so there's going to be answers to questions he's not had to answer before. He's going to have to look at himself in a different way. But in terms of resigning, he's someone that thrives on the challenge and the kind of way to create new systems, and he'll see this as a challenge. Yes, it'll be a totally different one that he's experiencing and a more difficult one than he's experienced in the past, but I don't think he's anywhere close to thinking about resigning. I think he wants to find a solution for this group of players more than he wants to think, well, I don't have the answers as an individual. Do
you think he stays and turns it around, Peter?
Yeah, I think he stays. I think he leaves when he wants to be quite honest. I don't think there's any indecision, anyone behind the scenes going to ever think that changing.
I think he's untouchable in that way,
yes.
Isn't he?
Yeah, without doubt. But it's whether or not he wants to, whether or not he sees that he can turn it around. I know he signed a new contract, but it might be the situation where he feels like it might be best to step aside. But at the moment, listen, the man's a genius. He's changed the face of football as we know it. Certainly in this country, he's been a breath of fresh air, and he's going through a tough time at the moment.
But a very different test for him.
Very different, yeah, because he's not had that anywhere he's been. The minute he stepped out of being a player, he walked into the Barcelona job and had instant success. Will always be remembered at that club. The same at Bayern and at Manchester City now. So he's one of the greatest we've ever seen, and he's going through a tough time. And you would expect him to turn it around, but it is very different.
Yeah, and what you can say,
what he's used to.
Yeah, and what you can say about these players and the Pep is that the players they're not responding to what he's asking. They're just not executing. So normally when a manager's under pressure,
why would
it just
that
happens.
happen?
The rhythm, the confidence of it. You're seeing people misplace passes and mistakes happening that don't normally happen, and that is a confidence thing, and that comes with a run of bad results and bad performances. But if you're looking at the team, you're not thinking, well, he's not trying. He doesn't respect the manager. Where I think you see that in other clubs when other managers. Do you think there's a
problem with mindset then? Because it's something that they've never struggled with before, but it's almost like even Pep doesn't look sure of himself now.
Yeah, I would say so, because again, it's a new thing for them to experience, and when it is new in a negative way, it's difficult. You can't just turn it on and off like a light. You think oh, I'll be okay today. And all of a sudden you miscontrol the ball and you think, oh, I'm not as far forward as I would like to have been, or I need to make it a little bit more safer, which the timing of it is off. Then all of a sudden, we've seen in the first half, Phil Foden receive a ball that he normally turns on and drives forward, that he wants to make sure he's securing it even more. So again, decisions are altered when your confidence is low.
Do you know, is there something in it, the fact is, you know how intense he is as a person, as a player. Sometimes when the players may have thought he might be leaving at the end of the season, almost being like, we don't have to work to this intensity anymore. Something mentally that, when he signed the new contract, it's then, we got to.
He's on us again.
Basically,
I know what
these
you're saying.
standards again. We've got every single day is going to be on us, because you know how intensity.
Yeah, I haven't got that impression. I wouldn't say that's the case, because this run of form was prior to him signing. This wasn't. Now it's just prolonged after the signing of the contract, but. If you go back to when it started, he hadn't signed a new deal. There was no inkling that he was going to sign. So, again, who knows? We always say it's not going to be one thing that determines this outcome. It's going to be a multiple of things. At the moment, not enough of them have enough belief in themselves to get out of it.
Or the fact that they've won 4 in a row, then starting again to motivate yourself once again after 4 league titles in a row.
But listen, I think winning 1 league title, I'd be celebrating for the next year. So
I'm still celebrating.
You wouldn't see me again. If I win the treble, I'm gone.
Retiring.
That's why the players and the manager have got this elite mentality. That's just been unbelievable to be to relentlessly continue to dominate, and that's why I think at the end of the day everyone's human, and I think they're at this point now where what they've done is superhuman, so to continue that, I think Guardiola said it himself, it's so hard to continually do it, and the other teams improve, and unfortunately this year they seem to have taken a little step backwards. And
it was in question for quite a while, but it seems even Erling Haaland is human as well. Erling Haaland saying Pep Guardiola will find the solutions, and you feel like you can never really write them off. They've only lost 4 Premier League games post-Christmas in the last 3 seasons. But as far as this title race goes now, are we writing them off?
I think you have to. I've not seen enough. Certainly, in that game, it's not as if they've been unlucky. It feels like they actually deserve to be beaten, certainly today, and that's the worrying thing. So they're not showing signs of title-winning form. I don't think that they have a chance of winning the league now. I'll eat my words if they do, but I genuinely don't think they have the opportunity.
Well, even if they won every single game, they'd have 90 points.
But that's the thing. I don't think it's in their control. I don't think it surprised me if they went on title-winning form, but I don't think Liverpool dropped the points that they're going to have to in order for City to win the game or to win the title. So I think Liverpool probably have to lose 4 games over the second half of the season, which I don't think they do. But if City go on a run, that wouldn't surprise me either.
Even Chelsea and Arsenal, they look.
There's too many teams, isn't there?
Well,
There's too many teams. They have to a drastic run of form and results in order for City to win the title.
No one would have predicted that table, would they, at the start of the season? Look at that. Forest pushing for the Champions League places, Liverpool top, Chelsea second. You've got Tottenham, Newcastle, Man United all teetering around that bottom half as well. Who or what would you say has surprised you the most in all of that?
Well, Nottingham Forest, I think, have been the shining light, and I think as also another one is Aston Villa themselves. I mean, they've been saying they haven't been as good as last season, but there they are in 5th place. They're going really well in the Champions League, and it feels like they're coming into form, if you like. So not a bad season for them either.
What about
I agree.
You, Julian?
Forest, definitely Forest, but Aston Villa, I think, to manage the expectations of the Champions League and the Premier League, I think I think they've been outstanding, but it definitely has to be Nottingham Forest.
And a shout for Chelsea as well, because I think quite a few people at the start of the season, myself included, we're looking at them and it was almost laughable, wasn't it? Bringing in all these players, how are they going to manage the situation?
You think it can never work?
No, but again, I was speaking about this yesterday. It didn't surprise me, because having seen Enzo work and knowing how good he is as a coach, it didn't surprise me, to be fair. And he had the respect of Cole Palmer. I think that was the key factor. Whether they did it on purpose or it was an accident, the fact that he's gone in there and the best player respects him and he's bought in already, because he respects him as a man and as a manager, then the rest of the players have to do that as well. So the fact that they've managed to to accompany or acquire Enzo is huge.
There wasn't the talent that they had because they've got so much talent in the dressing room. It was managing all of those players, and I loved what he did. He just came in and was put a few big names to the side and continually worked with his squad, and he's done such a good job. And they look like the biggest challengers at the moment.
Really do, and they could go top as well because they play before Liverpool play tomorrow. A massive game tomorrow, Tottenham against Liverpool, and there was some really interesting comments from Arne Slot about Ange Postecoglou before that game.
Haunting his former club where he was as a youngster. How good was he today for Villa?
Well, he was the best player in the park. He was absolutely exceptional. I think that the work he done going forward, the work he did at the back, his choices and decisions in front of goal, obviously an assist and a goal in the afternoon, and to do it against your old club, especially a manager that's let you go, it always feels that much sweeter.
Could you see that he was there and up for that fight today?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's really not surprised me. I mean, he played well at Middlesbrough before he joined Aston Villa. I think it was like 15 million or whatever they paid for Tottenham now. They'll probably be a bit of a squad player for a couple of seasons. Emery will feed him into the team, but nothing likes. He has really stepped up to the plate. And today, against his former club, and you seen him chatting to Xavi, the goalie coach, and Pep Guardiola after the game. He's gone like, you let me go, like, so. And Glenn's right. Like, every time you play against your old club or you feel hard done by, you didn't get an opportunity at that club, you go, I'll show them today, and he was brilliant today.
Before we have a look at his goal, let's have a look at the story of the first half, where Villa started so strongly, forcing Ortega into a couple of smart saves in the first couple of minutes. But 16 minutes on the clock, and did they get what they deserved? Well,
you're right, man. He had a couple of warnings, didn't he? And he didn't heed them warnings. And again, you could look at City. I'd like to focus on the positives from Aston Villa. I mean, Akanji, John Stones goes all the way into Tielemans, you'll see here. Then Akanji and Rico Lewis, the gap's massive. Kovacic gets run off in midfield. We talk about Rodri. We talk about Rodri every time City play because he may even get the Ballon d'Or winner next year because he's not played. He's been that good without him, But again, Morgan with a perfect layoff for Duran, and it's a brilliant goal from Villa.
Yeah, and I think the disappointing thing is right through the heart of Manchester City again, and this is what Aston Villa did time and time again. But that composure there and selflessness, especially against your own club, to put it on a plate for your striker, I think that speaks volumes of the young man.
Yeah. So they took that 1-0 advantage into the second half, probably steeling themselves for a reaction from Manchester City. But as it turned out, Rodgers in on the act here, starting and finishing the move.
Yeah, pace, power, desire. Obviously, just meanders into the box. Once he gets this opportunity, digs it out from underneath him, back in that corner. But look how easy this is for him to turn and drive. Rides one challenge there, Kyle Walker. Rides another challenge here. Kovacic actually tries to bring him down, glides away from Akanji, goes up against him, drops it off. Then he's just free to just wander into the box. And once this falls at him, he'd had a couple of opportunities. He wasn't going to make the same mistake again.
Ortega here? Shay?
No, I think what he's done really well, he's shifted it really quick and hit it early.
Yeah.
Combination for a goalkeeper, it's really difficult, I think he knows exactly where Ortega is in the goal. Morgan, he just pulled it into that corner. I think it's a brilliant finish.
With barely, 1.5 minutes left on the clock, City did pull one back through Phil Foden. His first league goal of the season after his 29th shot on goal.
Yeah, and do you know what? He was probably the best Manchester City player today. He was the one that showed signs of the old Phil Foden last year. And listen, it's really fortunate how the goal came about. But once it dropped to him, he was clinical. And that is the one positive for Manchester City. Yeah. Maybe signs that Phil Foden's getting back to his best.
Villa come away with all 3 points. Only goal difference is stopping them from getting into the top 4 right now. Handily placed in the Champions League. Suddenly the narrative seems to have changed for them. Reasons to be really positive.
Well, they came into the game not in great form in the league, obviously losing Nottingham Forest last week and some questions over their form. But again, when you beat the champions like today, in the manner, I know Foden got a late sort of consolation there, but that'll give him a huge lift, of course, going into the second half of the season. And the job, again, Emery's done. I mean, he's been brilliant again today. Out tactical, out physical. Everything they've done today was ahead of Manchester City.
For City, the crisis deepens even further. Let's get the post-match thoughts of their head coach. Here's Pep Guardiola.
Pep, another game where you're still searching for those answers. What happened out there today?
Make a really good first half. We start with problems, with mistake, but we make a really good first half. Second half we drop. We change a little bit our pressing for the reason John could not continue, and we were not as much good as the first half. And congratulate Aston Villa and keep going.
What was the reason that John Stones couldn't continue? Is it a recurrence of the previous injury?
Yeah.
So in terms of the things that Villa did well, was it something that you struggled with to deal with the intensity of their press?
I would not say no. Our build-up was comfortable, but of course in the mid-block they are so strong. They follow really good the pockets, the physicality with Onana and Kamara, and we could link inside, but it's not, you know that. But we have good moments. We have not big chances, but we have, I would say, more chances than United game, for example. But the second half we dropped. Our pressing was not effective in our right side, and we struggled a little bit. And after we could not drop them well, and we found the goal at the end, but too late.
He's continuing to back his players. Well, he has to get something out of them. He has to get a tune, no doubt. Just have a look at that. 6 defeats of the last 8 in the Premier League. 4 points taken in that time. What next for Pep Guardiola?
Well, only he knows, but he needs some sort of reaction from his players. This isn't all on him. I think the players have got to take a little bit of accountability. They're passive, they're not at it, they're not working hard enough, teams are breaking constantly on them. Listen, we're talking about world-class players here who know the game inside out. They have enough football intelligence and nous to be able to work this out for themselves. So we're putting an awful lot of pressure on Pep Guardiola at the minute, and rightly so. He's the world's best coach and has been, and he's proved it over and over again for 10, 12 years. But the players have got to look at themselves as well to a certain extent.
But they look like a team void of ideas. But we're talking about a team that's won the Premier League for the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, he's scratching his head by the looks of that interview, and I'm scratching my chin. It's difficult to get an answer to it, Manish. It really is. You know, we talk about the average age. You're looking for reasons or excuses or whatever. The average age has popped up overnight, it seems. They're not getting up the tackles. They're not blocking people. You know, Glenn speaks rightly about the goal, the second goal. There's a couple of opportunities to tactically foul. We've seen it over the years. They're a yard off that. Even Kovacic couldn't even tactically foul him. It's a snowball effect and confidence again. And he asked the question, what are you going to do to change it? And he goes, I will stick with my players. I will back my players. But I don't know what. Something needs to happen quick. I mean, January's around the corner. I suppose maybe reinforcements come in, try and freshen the whole group up. They just look tired, and even Pep looks tired himself.
Yeah, Glenn, it feels like the aggression's gone out of City's game. That front foot press, that trying to almost, instigate a mistake from the opponents, it's just not there anymore. And we saw that today.
Well, game management, I think, and we see this. This is everything that Manchester City are and Aston Villa are. This high press, this determination, backing each other up, working as a team, working as a unit. We can see the striker who does it every time, always biting away. Onana this time. I mean, it's just, if it's not one, it's the other, and then I think it's that structure of sensing, of wanting, and actually doing. This is everything that Manchester City didn't do on the afternoon. But this is way too easy. Look at Rodgers just getting turned, holding people off, and then all of a sudden, when you do that, your confidence raises and you get runners forward, and all of a sudden, you're at that back four asking questions.
The other thing, Manish, as well, is when you got the ball, it seems like you can have more energy levels, and when you're chasing the ball, which we've never seen Man City really do in a constant, the last 10, 11 games, whatever it is, they're chasing more of the ball, they're running back, they're not physically, they're not nowhere near it. But when you have the ball, when you're sort of running the legs of opposition, it's a lot easier than actually chasing the ball, trying to win it back. You know, they're dropping deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's I don't know, it's not good at all, Finish, not good.
You could see clearly, I mean, they were got at down that middle third, in that Rodri-less midfield. Well, now look, it's almost too simplistic to put all this down to one player, surely.
You would think so, but when you see the attacks right through the middle there, and the way he would manage a game both in possession and out of possession, and let's be honest, the signs were there when Rodri was fit. When he didn't play, whether he missed through suspension or a small injury, Manchester City's declining results was there for all to see, and now he's not there at all. This is what's happened.
What about Pep Guardiola now? When you have a look at those statistics, I mean, they stand out like a beacon at the minute. We've already discussed what next for him. Is there the remotest of possibilities that if he fails to get a tune out of these players soon, or feels that his voice isn't being heard in the dressing room, that he might just walk away?
I think that's the last thing we want as any sort of even neutral Premier League fan around the world. We want to see Pep do the opposite, actually. We wanted to come out in interviews after the game and go, wrong again today. Next week I'm going to come back stronger, we're going to come back fitter. And we mentioned this before again, you know, he needs to come up with a solution, fix his players, fix whatever needs fixing. We're not behind the training ground at Manchester City, but he needs to do something. And I would rather him stay than actually walk away. I don't think he'll ever get sacked. I don't think he's way too much credit in the bank. No, I'm not saying he will be either, but I think he's nearly too proud to walk as well. I think he might, but I think he's nearly too proud to walk because Glenn rightly says, he's regarded as one of the best managers in the world. And at times, and this is probably the worst, hardest time he's ever had as a manager, he has to come out fighting, I think, throwing more punches than just sort of accepting it and going into a bit of into a corner.
OK, let's hear from one of his players. Here's Erling Haaland.
Another disappointing result. What's been said in the dressing room amongst you and your teammates just now?
Yeah, it's a couple of minutes since the game is finished, so not a lot. But of course we're disappointed, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough for me, and that's it.
What did Villa do so well out there that made you guys struggle in this performance?
No, they're good players. We all know that it's difficult to come here, but we're Man City. We should be up there, and we have to continue. We have to believe, and we have to keep working hard.
You are Man City, and I think for everyone, your fans, other fans of other teams that are watching, it's been such a surprise to see City in this form. How, as a team, are you working on trying to put this right?
No, we have to continue. And first, I'm looking at is myself. I haven't been doing things good enough. I haven't been scoring my chances and everything. So I have to do better. It's a lot on me, and I haven't been good enough.
Where are the confidence levels at between your...
Of course, it's not the best. We know how important confidence is and everything, and you can see it that it affects every human being. These kind of things, and that's how it is. We have to continue. We have to stay positive, even though it's difficult, and yeah, we have to keep working hard.
There's an expectation that this Manchester City team, managed by Pep Guardiola, who's won absolutely everything in the league with your team, there's an expectation that he should be able to find the answers to change things, to turn things around. Has he been different around the training ground in this run?
No, not really. As you said, he won the Premier League 6 times in 7 years, so we will never forget that, and he will find the solutions. He's been doing that every single year, except one the last 7 years. So he's going to find the solutions. We still believe in him, and we have to work harder than ever right now.
What did he say to you? We saw in the tunnel he was giving you all some instructions just before you came out. That's not something that we've seen this season at a Premier League ground, certainly. What was he saying to you as you went out for the second half?
No, sometimes he do that, but not with his cameras. But it's the small details, and I don't remember right now, to be honest. I'm thinking of that we actually just lost the game, another one. So I don't remember, but. It was probably some small instructions to do things a little bit better.
Can you get out of this?
Yeah.
Erling, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Erling sounds confident. You don't expect him to say anything else, along with the fact that he says he backs the manager. If you're one of those City players, is it a question of pride now for you? Do you take it upon yourself to do all you can?
Well, yeah, you have to, the first and foremost, when you cross the white line, you're representing yourself and your family, and you have to do your best for yourself in any Premier League game. Now, that is a question mark over the players. Are they giving everything for Pep Guardiola? Are they, busting their gut to close people down, stop crosses, stop shots, put bodies on the line? From the outside looking, and we're only sort of breaking things down and slowing it down, it doesn't look like they are. Now, I don't know what the reason is to that. Yeah. We said before Pep's just signed a new contract not that long ago. Was that the players thinking he's going to leave in the summer, and now he's signing a new contract? I've got to listen to this guy for another 2 years because he's so demanding and maybe physicality, mentally draining as well, and they've just dropped off it, haven't they, Manish?
Yeah, they're absolutely.
Great celebrations, great scenes here. Jolyon and Peter watching alongside me, and Jolyon, Villa made their intentions clear from the off today, didn't they?
Yeah, again, Emery made it very clear before the game. He wanted intensity, so we expected a high press, and they got that early start and possibly should have went 1-0 up from Duran's chance. But overall, very consistent. And even when they was under the cosh a little bit in terms of possession in the first half, they were in control of the outcome. They sat a little bit deeper and were patient in defending, and that's not something many teams are doing nowadays. And they didn't allow City to create much momentum going forward. And
we keep thinking City are just going to come out of this slump, Peter, but is it getting worse?
I don't know if it's getting worse. I felt the strangest thing today was it just felt like a pretty routine win for Aston Villa, and to say that about a Manchester City side just feels so strange. I think, it was very animated on the sideline, Pep Guardiola, about the intensity of his pressing. Just felt like they were waiting to get beat. I know they scored near the end there. That kind of flattered them, really. I think it was all Aston Villa. I think even when they had the possession, Aston Villa were carving them open at will. It was, kind of third man runs from midfield, and they couldn't cope with it at all. And Grealish got a lot of the ball, but didn't create a great deal, and Aston Villa were worthy winners today.
And they carved them open for that opening goal, Julian. It was about 4 touches from Martinez into the net, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've done this exceptionally well. The two midfielders drop deep, split, and that allows Tielemans to get on the ball, and then it's just a straight pass, a straight run, and a square pass. And it sounds very simple, but that is well worked from a Villa point of view, and obviously something they've looked at in the analysis prior to the game, and obviously worked on in training.
Julian felt he was a bit lucky there, Duran, though. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm going to go with a great finish there. He dug it into the ground, just waiting for the keeper to come. It was a lovely goal. It was a beautiful goal.
Taking every opportunity he's getting, though, isn't he? He started 6 times, and that's 6 goals in every start. His position to lose now, do you think?
Well, it is. He's a real goal scorer, isn't he? He's in and around it. I think the early chance he probably should have done better. Yeah. I don't know whether it came a little bit too early, but that was when Villa were really cutting City open at the start of the game. He went through, and maybe he could have taken it closer to goal. But you back him every time he gets in these opportunities to score. He's on fire at the moment.
Is this looking at a striker who's on just a good run of form right now, Julian, or do you think this can continue?
I think it's going to continue definitely this season, but is it just a run of form this season? Who knows? We'll have to look at next season, but for right now it's working for Aston Villa. Rainier's got a great headache in regards to having 2 strikers that are full on confidence and can score goals. And listen, when you have the capabilities of these 2 strikers, you're going to create chances, you're going to cause problems.
And we can see there Morgan Rogers, he got the assist for that opening goal, and then capped it off with a goal of his own. Well done, Morgan. Good to see you.
Okay.
Good play today, mate.
Thank you.
Morgan, congratulations. Just talk to us about what the manager said about the game plan today, and just how well, as a group, you feel you executed that out there.
Well, we knew it was going to be difficult. It's like a beast, really, because obviously they haven't had results, but we knew they were going to come firing. They knew they wanted to win the game, and we knew we had to be at it. Results probably haven't gone our way in the last few weeks ourselves, so we knew we needed a reaction in the same way as they did, and we knew if we stuck to the game plan and we showed our quality that we'd cause problems, and we did that. And to a man, I thought we were outstanding, so I thought we deserved the win. And
your performance deserved a goal as well. How do you feel about the way you played and the levels you demand of yourself?
I try and thrive in big games. I want to show what I'm about and show why I deserve to be here and stuff. So, yeah, it's nice to perform in the big games. It's just about keeping consistent and improving and getting better. And, yeah, just seeing what happens.
Which part are you more impressed with, Morg? The start or the finish? I know, obviously, his finish is great, but the take for me was outstanding.
Probably the finish. I think sometimes this season I'll do the hard bit and then probably struggle in the final third for that bit of quality. So to have that composure, I'm more proud of. I think this season I've probably squandered a few chances that I'd like to have scored. So I think, yeah, to get that touch and to get that finish, I'm probably proud of.
Yeah, and we were just showing then Kyle Walker possibly should have showed you down the line, but he's opened up the pitch, and as soon as you've got that space, then your pace and power is just a drive into.
Yeah, all about just using my body. I know how good Walks is, how quick and strong he is, so I'm trying to keep the ball away from him, because I know if I get a sniff, he'll crunch me. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep the ball away from him and roll him.
You talk about maybe lacking that last final bit, but 2 moments today, obviously the first goal as well. How much did you think about shooting rather than laying off? Very unselfish. It was very unselfish.
Probably scared of Akanji tracking me down, get the ball off as quick as possible. But yeah, once I saw John and I knew he'd score, that's what he lives for chances like that. So yeah, it was just about, once I got in, that was probably the best opportunity that we were going to get. So yeah.
Is this a pattern of play you look to? Obviously, it looked pretty textbook from the training ground. Is this something you were looking to do?
Well, we played a bit different today, and obviously probably a bit more narrow and stuff. So I think once Yuri had the ball, I knew he came short, that someone else had to go in behind because we're probably playing with one less who normally threaten it. So I thought maybe it's down to me, and the space was there, especially in the first half, that if they did lose the ball on the counter-attack, that I could penetrate that run. So yeah, that's what I tried to do from that, and luckily the goal came from it. So yeah.
And you knew your former club were on a really bad run coming into this, but did you expect more from them out there today?
It looked probably felt tougher than probably what it looked. They were moving the ball the way they move the ball, manipulate it, they make you work, they make you so demanding it out of possession, and we had to be diligent from start to finish. Even at the end, you can see they get a little deflection and then a bit of quality and they score. So we knew we had to be on it from start to finish. So yeah, they made us work, they made us suffer a bit. But I think on the counter attack, I think we were good. So that's why probably we won the game today. You've
become such a key player under Unai Emery. How much has he developed you, do you think?
Yeah, massively. Every day he pushes me, he doesn't let me get a second off in training just to relax. He's always on to me, he's always demanding more for me, he wants the best for me, and that's perfect for someone like me. I just want to improve, I want to shine, and yeah, he just brings out the best in me, so we have a good working relationship, and I'm just going to keep working, keep improving. I'm not the only one that he's improved. I can see it from all the players that were here before and where they've got to, so yeah, I want to keep going on that trajectory and see where it takes me.
And you had that sticky run sort of after the end of October, didn't you? But won 3 in the last 4. Do you feel like you've turned a corner now and you're back on the up?
Yeah, I think we had a run of tough games at the same time, but yeah, we probably didn't play to the standard we'd like. Probably juggling all the competition at once is probably a new challenge we probably hadn't faced before, but I think in the last few games we've started to get our identity, our rhythm back and our confidence, and I think we're all playing with a bit more of a smile, a bit more relaxed, and you can see that today and in the last few games. So yeah, I think we're definitely going back in the right direction of where we want to get to, and yeah, I think we just got to keep going now, keep pushing on to the next games.
And what was it like working with Julian?
Legend, man. What a legend, yeah, what a legend. Obviously
he keeps telling us that, but it's nice to hear from someone else.
Yeah. That Birmingham connection stays true. You got the Brummies stick together.
What he's doing isn't surprising me. I've seen it, obviously. He was doing it at the lower levels, but you just knew once he got an opportunity, he was willing to work hard, and he's done that now. So, as I said, he's not surprising me with what he's executing.
Do you remember them Zoom calls?
Zoom calls every other month. Yeah, just going through his clips and that. We used to go through.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
go through them together.
Yeah.
So just
is that a good influence on you?
Yeah, massive. Yeah, even just as a person to speak to when my first loan when I was 18, he was always someone I could speak to, get on the phone and text, and then we'd catch up and go through my game. So stuff like that is important, and you don't forget stuff like that when you're trying to make it through and trying to improve and progress. So yeah.
And how much can you enjoy Christmas now? I know you've got an away game on Boxing Day, but what does that mean just to set you up going into the festive period?
Yeah, obviously it's tough. We know we've got games around the corner and stuff, but to get on that winning streak, to that feel-good factor going into games, no tougher game probably on Boxing Day than Newcastle away, but going into that...
I hope so.
After the back of this performance, I think we're going in full of confidence. We know they're a good team at home, but at the same time, we're a good team. We know we can match with anyone, so yeah, it's just about taking that confidence forwards.
Oh, congratulations on the goal, the assist, the win today, and have a good Christmas.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers, Morgan.
Pleasure, man. Keep going.
Well done today,
mate.
Brilliant, different class, mate. Brilliant.
Just how much have you seen him develop, Julian, since he's been here?
Oh, hugely. Not just as a footballer, but as an adult, as a man. As I said, he's 17 when he first come up, and relatively young and inexperienced just in life, never mind in football, but then he matured, and as I said, he's got a great family network behind him as well, so they helped him a lot. But yeah, then we obviously just developed him on the field, and yeah, he's thriving now.
He was absolutely brilliant for Villa today, but so, Peter, was Yuri Tielemans. Ali picked him as his player of the match today. What did you like about what he did out there?
Yeah, I loved Tielemans' performance today, but I have to say Rodgers must have run him close. I thought he was magnificent, but what Tielemans gives them is that bit of craft. Obviously, Onana and Kamara in there do such a good job, and also McGinn and Rodgers as well do so much brilliant work defensively. And I think it gives Tielemans a little bit more licence. He was often just behind Duran today, probably slightly unfamiliar because he can play almost like a quarterback, getting the ball off the defenders. But I felt like he was playing higher up today. He was involved in everything. His quick feet, his brain works quicker than most players, and some of his range of pass.
Good is he?
So good, such a technically gifted footballer, and him and Rodgers combined really well today.
So balanced both sides. He doesn't receive it on his one foot and want to dominate with his left or his right. He's able to make passes both sides. So talent, and as I said, Emery deserves a lot of credit because he changed obviously the personnel in regards to Rodgers playing in as a number 10 role, but he gave him an opportunity and he executed.
We will of course talk about Man City a lot more as well on the show, but what is your biggest concern right now, Jolyon?
Obviously the defensive side of the game. When everyone's fit they may create opportunities, but I think defensively not keeping many clean sheets, not looking like they're keeping clean sheets, so again that will hurt the level of confidence more so than not being able to score, because you've seen the goal they scored at the end. It was slightly fortunate, but you can get lucky, but they're not getting any luck defensively, so that's the side I would look to work on.
Ali used the word passive in commentary, Peter. Did you feel like you weren't even seeing enough fight from them out there?
That was the worrying thing for me. I felt like, before the game, we suggested that we felt Villa would be favourites. And then it just panned out that way. It didn't feel like there was any intensity. It felt like they were waiting to get beaten. There was nothing really frantic about them. They got the goal at the end, but that was more fortunate, if anything. I think they were devoid of ideas, and it felt like there wasn't an intensity, or there wasn't like a shock at the fact that they were getting beat, and that's the worrying thing.
Yeah, lots more